What's up, guys? It's your boy, J-Mecha here, back for another deck tech. This is my Metalwork Colossus mono black build. Sorry for the absence to the loyal fans. Just going through some life stuff, basically. Just busy with work, busy with life, just trying to get back in the swing of things. But here we are, we're back. One of my pet decks for Season 10 here, Metalwork Colossus. Fun fact, I'm actually the only person who ever won a tournament with the Metalwork Colossus build, and that build was the blue black build with a Trophy Mage and had like Sphinx Summoner. It was a really sweet build, but it's a little slow. I think it's like really slow. You got one thing I did like, it had a lot of tutors. Tutoring is one of my favorite things in Magic. I love toolboxes. I love just like having like um specific answers for certain situations. So I like grabbing them with a single card. So that's what I really like about Magic sometimes. And I decided to go to mono black just because of a couple of reasons. One, Lake of the Dead is really nuts. It's a really nuts Magic card. And two, we already have tutors, Diabolic Tutor. So one swamp with Lake of the Dead is basically a Diabolic Tutor, right? Yeah, right. That's about right. Anyways, but yeah, between like Trophy Mage and Sphinx Summoner, that would look splitting between two different cards, and they can get only specific things. Trophy Mage can only get things with 3 CMC, that was an artifact, and Sphinx Summoner can only get artifact creatures. The Tutor, Diabolic Tutor rather, gets any of them. Gets anything. Anything. I've tutored for Swamps before. I've literally tutored for Swamps before sometimes. So that's like kind of the appeal, so you get to jam more crazy cards in the deck. So let's just get right onto it with the deck list. 3 Legged of Dead. I had 4. I started with 4. When you draw the second one, it's really terrible. Oh, I have played 2 before, and I knew it was the right play because I needed to make another land. I needed to make another land drop. So, but 3 is fine. You always want to see at least the first one. Your most busted draws obviously go with like a turn 3, turn 2 is a turn 3 lake. I think is your most busted draw. I think had one draw where I had like a turn 3 lake with a summon sample and another like random 4 drop artifact. And I dumped my whole hand on turn 4 or turn 3 actually. It was really nutty. But yeah, lake is honestly the best reason to go mono black for me is lake. The mana acceleration is just like off the charts. Sanctum of Mugen, 4 of in the deck. It's not a swamp, so you can't sack it to the lake, but it's really good. It's like a uncounterable tutor for your colorless creature cards. I don't play like the void cards, but I do have a lot of artifact creatures. So actually only 12, but they're enough, and all of them have different purposes, which we'll get to in a second. I've kind of split up all these cards. This is the ramp section. Sphere of the Suns goes from 2 to 4. Pretty great. I mean, there's no like black like signet legal. There's actually very few 2 mana um mana rocks, quote unquote, legal, but and there's things like corrupted Graphstone, which is like are like situational sort of mana rocks. Actually, would kill for like a prismatic lens or something like that. I would actually love it. But Sphere of the Suns is the best we got. It's just fine. Later you can sack them to the Colossus to get them back. Hedron Archive, 3 of, pretty great. They're never really dead. You can just draw cards in the end. So it's not great. Don't really need 4. I think 3 is fine. And the last sort of ramp card is Thran Temporal Gateway here. Uh, it puts historic permanent cards from your hand to the battlefield. So really the benefit is that like just a single Temporal Gateway will make all your artifacts cost 4. That's really good for instant speed. I know you're like kind of like playing this and waiting a turn, but I mean in the long run, having instant speed, Metalwork Colossi, and other sort of shooters are pretty great. I've like been in situations where I didn't have enough mana to cast like Triskelion over and over, but I had the Gateway, so Gateway's randomly good. That's why there's a ton of 1 and 2 of in this deck. I really outdone myself in terms of just like random cards in this deck. Next, the creature selection. Model Gnomes, great guy. Sacrifice, gain 3 life, not bad. 1/3 blocker, pretty good. Pretty good with another card, Skeleton Shard here, which we'll talk about in a second. Workshop Assistant. In this slot, this is supposed to be the Gravedigger type slot. For a while, I had Arcbound Reclaimer, which is it's a thing with modular. If you remove a counter from it and you put an artifact on top of your library, that's not good enough. It was okay, not great. It had some like funny interactions with like Triskelion with the modular and stuff like that. But Workshop Assistance is really strong actually. It's just annoying. It just annoys opponents. It comes down pretty early, and it's annoying. It's just like you get these like weird like loopy grindy situations where you have like two assistants and like a skeleton shard, and you're just kind of like bouncing things back and forth. Your opponent can never really like get through or something. I don't know. It's just really annoying ones. Karn, actually an alternate win condition for the most part. A lot of times, like this is black decks especially, you get your Metalworks here, just kind of like exiled or something might happen to them. Karn can just like come down and randomly in the mid to late game. You have a bunch of these like useless artifacts in the field, and they just start attacking. It's pretty nuts. So that's what Karn's good at. Just like it is another alternate win condition out of nowhere. This is really fun. Triskelion, another alternate win condition, is one of my pet cards here. They're all really my pet cards, but Triskelion, if you've seen my deck techs over the past seasons, I've jammed Triskelion in so many random decks, from like Wild Pair to Grixis Control, and now we're here at really the deck it should be for, some sort of artifact deck. But yeah, Triskelion is pretty great. I've another sort of like kind of reach card. You can just kind of shoot down a lot of small creatures or just kill your opponent. And I've done all of that, and it's really great. Pentavis, kind of a newer addition to the team. I needed another 7-drop creature to trigger Sanctum, so or colorless spell rather. So Pentavis does it. Makes a bunch of flyers. You know, flyers are not bad, and the flyers can just like block infinitely and come back to the Pentavis. So if you, as long as you could like manage your mana right, you can always just like make a Pentavite block and then put it back on the Pentavus, and then just have this infinite amount of weird creatures. So and you can also just go wide if you need to. Metalwork Colossus, pretty great. It's pretty great to play on your turn 4 to play 30 power, and you can do that with the Metalwork Colossus deck. It's really nutty. It's a lot of fun. The sacrifice artifacts part to get it back to your hand is a very underrated ability. You can use it against like there's so many different weird applications, especially against things like Declaration Stone. You have like one in your graveyard. It's really hard to set up, but it's really an underrated ability, honestly. And you know, just having a 10/10 is really good. Next slot here is Utility Artifacts. Haunted Cloak is basically a haste enabler. A lot of times you can just like kind of do your thing. Oh, I got a big Colossus out, but you don't attack, and then they just untap and like Declaration Stone your guy. So Haunted Cloak kind of speeds up the process. Also gives it Trample. Trample's really important. Actually, all the stats are important, really. But Trample's really important. Like I said, a lot of times you can have a Colossus out, but they have a bunch of 1/1s. They can never really get through, but Trample really just like negates all of that. And speaking of Trample, Locks on Warhammer, another great addition to the deck. The deck struggles against aggro decks, so having a gigantic 13/10 Trample lifelink guy, pretty good. Pretty good. A couple swings out of that, and the opponent will pretty much die. I think every Colossus deck should have a hammer, or at least some sort of way of evasion for the Metalwork Colossus. I actually thought about playing Rogue's Passage as a land, but it's really hard when you're playing like in a dead deck. You really want as much swamps as you can. I think like having 4 Sanctums is just enough there. Sculpting Seal is kind of a flex slot, but that's what it is. It's really flexible. It can do anything. Copying your opponent's artifacts is also a thing you can do. Between things like they have Scrabbling Claws, you know, just some of them also play Hedron Archive or Spheroid Stuns or whatever, you know. But I've copied so many just random things. It's just like a catch-all, you know, literally to clone. But yeah, it's just kind of like a select slot. I've seen people use like Gilded Lotus in this slot or just other things. You play the 4th Archive. I think Sculpting Steel. I just like the flexibility of it. Semblance Anvil, another one of. It's basically you're 2-4ing yourself in a weird way, and you can totally just like get blown out with like a smelt or even like a bounce spell. But if you get to untap with this card, it's pretty nutty. Like for Colossus, it's basically -5 for a Colossus for 3 mana, which is really strong. And yeah, it can just like it leads to your most broken starts basically. So in game 1, when they don't have a lot of like artifact removal or maybe bounce spells if you're not aware of yet, it's probably one of the best game 1 cards. And later it can get a lot worse, especially your opponent is playing green, red, white, blue, and then black, because black really can't deal with artifacts. But in those orders, like red, green for like smelts and naturalizes, white for like invoke the divine, blue for bounce spells, and then black. Black can't really do anything. But yeah, in that order. So Anvil's pretty great. Skeleton Shard is actually you want to. I always joke it's like, oh, it's a Colossus deck. It's actually not a Colossus deck. It's actually a Skeleton Shard deck. Really, Skeleton Shard is the super Gravedigger of what I love. Like I said before, you can like loop you can loop Bottle Gnomes and Skeleton Shard. That's a really dumb loop for like 4 mana. You just gain 3 life a turn. That's good enough sometimes. Workshop Assistant, Skeleton Shard just makes this like weird grindy loop where they can't really break it unless you have some sort of graveyard hate. It's a really fun card. It's won me a lot of like control matchups. I think like I find control to be a very good match because of Skeleton Shard, because of like the sort of like just grindy ability that it has. It's really great, just Gravediggering every turn. Conqueror's Galleon, another sort of like one of. It's kind of another flex slot. I've tried it out. I've had okay success. Flipping it is the most important part, obviously. Fun fact: you also animate it with a Karn. An attack is a 4/4, and it will also transform. It will satisfy the needs of its ability here. But yeah, it's a super late game card. Honestly, between like lake, sometimes you don't have a lot of mana, but those the games they don't really draw a lake, and you just have a bunch of mana. This is excellent late game card. Especially the last one, returning target card from the graveyard. If you have a Diabolic Tutor in your graveyard, you're just getting tutor every turn for whatever card you need. So that's pretty great. But like I said, I could see anything in this slot. This is just like kind of another flex slot between this and the steel. But yeah, I'm trying it out so far. I've liked it so far. Tutor we talked about, just having access to anything. You can go get a Colossus out and play a free, especially another 4 mana, a 10/10, or get the Skeleton Shard against control decks, get a Ball Gnomes because the aggro decks, things like that. And because of like the nature of its format, you need some removal main deck. So I have a split between Vendetta and Bile Blight. Vendetta is really strong against the breakfast decks. You really need to kill a Hermit Druid or a Cephalid Illusionist, and they need to die. They just need to die. So you need to play these like 1 mana spells. If you're not playing some sort of 1 mana like disruption spell against that deck, you're building your deck wrong. I'll tell you that right now. You need this. You need something to disrupt your opponent with. So that's a fair warning. If you want to be successful in this current season, you need to have interaction. Bile Blight also helps out. It also helps out against the aggro deck, especially with like Tempered Steel. They play a bunch of tokens and whatnot. Just kill them all. Kill them all. Cyborg's kind of split between more removal and more just kind of grindiness. Extra Bile Blight for the aggro matchups. Extra Vendetta, just 1 extra for the breakfast matchup. I switch this up. I'm not really sure yet. I think 4 Vendetta is probably better than the 3/3 split, but I'm gonna try 3. There are other decks here. Sever the Bloodline for kind of like more of the mid-range matchups. Has flashback too, so you get extra utility out of it. Curse of Death's Hold, pretty great against Aristocrats, also against Breakfast too. Their enablers are really 1/1s between Hermit Druid, Cephalid Illusionist, Narcomoeba, things like that. They're all kind of 1/1s, so it's really good towards the mid to late game. Consume the Meek, another nice sweeper against aggro decks. Subterfuge, great against control decks on some lower side. Like decks have these like linear kind of strategies, like Witch's Mastery, for example. It can just exile that, their deck gets crippled in such a way. Against my deck, Metalwork Colossus. I mean, it's not that bad. I've beaten people without Colossus, but it's fine too. And something new I'm trying is Desecration Teams off the board. It's kind of my anti-artifact sort of plan. Like, if you know your opponent is packing like smelts, meltdowns, and like other things to deal with artifacts, I'm gonna try to switch it up and probably try and play some Desecration Teams. So you can play on turn 3 with a Sphere. So I'm gonna try it out. I haven't really I've thought about it a little bit. I've kind of toyed around the idea, but I'm gonna try it out here. Full 4 for the kind of like switcheroo plan. It's kind of weird to have like non-artifact sort of like cards in your deck like this, but I want to try it. Let's see what happens here. So we're gonna run through a league today, so get 5 excellent rounds of this deck. So stay tuned for some metalworking action. Alright, you got a match with your Painting Dreadful Black Colossus build. If not, done these in a while.
Okay, let's kill something here.
God, I was watching a stream while waiting. Alright, that's off. Let me think about this hand. I have to draw. The problem with this hand is that it doesn't have enough lands. And I could definitely play a turn 3 Cloak But I have to like, assuming I don't draw more swamps. If I draw more swamps, his hand's amazing. If I don't, and my opponent has any sort of interaction, I might just die. I'm gonna rock and roll. I'm gonna try to play a bunch of swamps here. I only kept 7. This is easily a hand that will just get destroyed by any sort of interaction. Or if I don't draw swamps. So, a little risky for sure. That's what we do here. We risk. We take chances. Soaked Estuary. Oshuko. Safe. Let the swamp. We're doing it. So now I can play a turn 3 cloak without playing the lake. And then I probably might be able to get the Colossus out. Let's see. Now this will be 8. I only make like I won't make enough mana there. Alright, that's good. That's good insurance. I think my opponent's playing breakfast build. Actually, Caracas has been playing a lot of the Grixis breakfast build for a while, so having a Vendetta is gonna be really nice. Look at this power sunk. Wow, triple land here. So is it worth it for me to play this Colossus? Oh, there's a tutor. Tutor's really nice here. Tutor means I can get a semblance sample. Then we can start going to town. So I think I might do that. I don't know if semblance sample is the right card because I don't want to give up a card. Maybe skeleton shard. My opponent hasn't done anything. The hard part where you're kind of in this spot. I definitely want to play a non-artifact or a non-creature artifact. Maybe the answer is actually hammer. I could also die here by tapping out. I could definitely just die right here. But they haven't done anything for 3 turns, so this can also get countered. If it's countered, it's okay. I'm okay with it getting countered. Maybe with buyback. There. Actually, I'm not okay with this getting countered. So I guess I can play the Triskelion. They do have another forbid here. I don't mind this like getting countered, honestly. It's also good insurance against like the breakfast like combo. Right? Just straight forbid. This is the unfortunate part of the deck. Now I need to like just draw lands and some spells, a mix of it. I think they're going for it, honestly. No? Oh, they are going for it. Luckily, I came prepared for this. The thing about this version of the deck is that it's actually kind of good against like removal. It has a different plan. I'm gonna pop out the graveyard real quick. They can also power sync this. If they power sync this, I'm just dead. Ooh, I might be dead. Oh, no. Okay, they're just letting it happen. Maybe they're waiting to see what they milled. No? Okay, it's just happening. Okay, they didn't hit any Archimedes. That's actually really good for me. Okay, they have an Archimedes. Okay, they did play an Archimedes, but in a different way, though. Okay, I feel okay about this so far. I'm not, like, terrible. I feel in a good position right now. They have one card left. I just need to draw anything, really. Swamp is fine. How much mana do I need? I need 8. 5, 6, 7? One land away. I will not be sagging that Sanctum Mugen, by the way, if I draw another swamp. Great card to be here would be Skeleton Shard. I think Skeleton Shard would be amazing right now. Okay, I'm dead to another Illusionist, though. Treasure Cruise, that's really good right now. A really sick card. Got another Illusionist here. Search. So here comes the Anemic Beatdown plan. No red mana yet. I guess they don't really need red mana for anything, except for, like, Subtractive Spectre. Random. Another Narcomoeba. Ooh. um... I think I'm gonna Bioblight while they're tapped out, honestly. I think that's just, like, right play. That'd be the wrong play, because if they're playing on tap Illusionist here, they just top deck the Illusionist, I die. Okay, another research. Maybe that was the wrong play. I don't know, though. So, assuming they have 4 Nakamoebas in their deck, I guess I could, like, play the Dreadseek Zombie here. Yeah, I don't know. They need, like, 2. The thing about this build is that they need 2 Dread Returns to kill me. So, and they need, like, 6 creatures. Okay, there's a Swamp. I'm gonna go for it. Not be triggering that. I could go get Triskelion, but okay, he's just gonna let this happen. He's just gonna counter this. Just totally arsing. Okay, though. I could go get, like, a Pentavis, cast it next turn, or get Triskelion. Maybe I should go get a Triskelion. Colossus isn't really great right now. Or get Workshop Assistant, but I don't think it's really that great right now. Assistant could be okay, but I think I actually want the Triskelion right now. It's something I can actually cast, I think. Like, with the Colossus, I would need to draw another Swamp, but right now I could actually cast this. With the sacrifice of a Swamp. Okay, I think I'm dead. I might be dead. We'll just see what happens. They top deck that. For sure. So they have at least a Drake 6 combi and let's say 2 Narcomoebas. Let's just say best case scenario, 2 Narcomoebas. And they could probably, I don't know how many Drake 6 zombies are in these lists. Probably at least like 2. And so they need like 6 creatures to Dread Return back. Or 5. They really need 5. Perilous Voyage. At least I get to see what they're kind of packing here in terms of like removal. Voyage. They have both Narcomoebas there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should have just taken the beatdowns with the Narcomoebas. Just like held Bioblight, but I think if I just hold my cards at that spot, I'm gonna lose. I'm just gonna hold up counter magic. I'm not even playing red, looks like. I mean, you can splash for red with the, like, you really need to hard cast this, but I guess you don't really need to play red cards. Probably have all they need here. Okay, it's Haunted Dead. Okay, Haunted Dead makes a bunch of guys, that's true. Early Frost. So it looks like they have enough creatures here to double flare me. 4 there. And yeah, you only need 5 guys. Players will see each other here. This will Undying, so it'll hit me for 5 the first time. In case you've never seen this combo. But the first flare is going to come back to hit me for 5. The next flare is going to come back, and they'll both trigger. Let's just get Sagatog. That's just a fancy way. That's just like... This is the more clicking way, but they could have gotten the second flare. Just done like double damage here. It would have been like 5 plus like 4. More than enough. I think they... Yeah, it seeds itself. It seeds itself, and then this flare seeds it. So yeah, it would have been 9. But yeah, what you can do is sort of trigger on a stack with the Sagatog when it comes into the battlefield. You can just start like eating at your own cards here. So that. This is just like overkill. Not overkill, but just like could have just like gotten just the second one. But you know, I'm not the one in that position. Oh well. Alright, sideboard. Bile Blight. Curse here. This seems to be just blue-black, I guess. This one's matchups with shards a bit slow. Bottle Gnomes are a bit slow. Not really where the map. Oh, the Bottle Gnomes! They can only deal a finite amount of damage, really, so Bottle Gnomes couldn't be that bad. Kind of be that bad. War side seems okay. I like discarding people with Scepter, but this is actually one of those not Colossus matchups. I think it's actually pretty slow. It's a pretty hard card to start with. Coupling Seal's not the easy cut. I'll just cut that. Warhammer's really good, honestly. Semazamble could be annoying. They played like that bounce spell, so I'm actually gonna cut this. That could be like really bad. Conqueror's Galleon's also really slow in this matchup. I'm gonna cut that too. I do want to play Scepter, but they get a lot of value out of their discard. They have like Unearth guys, and I think that's what they cut. It looks like they cut the Sotraxka Specters, so just straight, just like counter spells. And... Well, Scepter's pretty good against counter spells. Tough. That's tough. I don't know what to cut for it. Assistant. Edva seems a bit slow, but I think it's another good, like... I can cut like a tutor. I'll just cut a tutor. Alright, let's try that. I don't know how good Scepter is going to be, but we'll see. Another tough hand. I need another swamp. Or just another land in general. But I'm gonna keep it. I have the Memoricide here. The question is, what do you Memoricide out of your deck? And will it resolve is the next question. This is another sketchy hand. Like, my first hand wasn't that bad. It worked out. I think my opponent just drew a lot better. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get to, like, bluff untapped land here and just, like... well... If I just, like, tap out, they're gonna kill me. But if I just do nothing here... Yeah, I need to... Can't just do nothing, sadly. I need to hope to draw swamps here. I hope they don't have to turn 2. Turn 2 be... I'm waiting. Oh, good. A Drink Zombie. Oh, great. 3-1. That's it. Ooh, swamp. I could Memoricide something. I don't know what the Memoricide. Or I could play a Bottle Gnomes and die. I kind of like Bottle Gnomes dying at this point. But the thing is, what do I Memoricide? Dread Return? If I say Dread Return, then like... I think Flare the Hatebound is the best, but Dread Return is probably the most Better card. It makes the illusion it's basically useless. But the thing is, I also lose a swamp here. I have how much mana? I have 5. I have 6 mana. Oh, it's tough. Another toughie. Because there's no like guarantee that I draw a swamp here. I think I need a Memorial side for sure. I'll take the anemic beatdowns for a while, but I need the dread return. I need the Memorial side something. I think it's either dread return or flare. It didn't seem like it had any way of casting a flare, so I think the answer is just naming dread return. I feel like I'm going to be wrong. I think it's the right call. Yeah, I was pretty sure I saw no way of casting the flare, which I think is wrong. I think seems wrong. You have all these like swamps here. You also play like you could play like a couple of like crumbling necropolises. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna screen this for the yeah. It seems like you want to play a red source, at least two. Two, two would be good. I don't think they really sideboarded at all against me. It didn't seem like they sideboarded at all. Oh, okay. All right. Psychotog probably will kill me. No. The Psychotog looks like it's going to kill me. And the bad looking Psychotog too. So I haven't really taken out the combo aspect out of their deck, but now it looks like I'm going to just die without drawing another land. Psych I drew a land in there. Let's see. Oh. Early Frost is interesting too. It taps 3 lands. So it's good to like tap out your control opponent, then untap your guy. Funny little tempo play too. I think he's gonna try to tempo me out. Block. I feel like block. Good. Block this guy too. We bin 2 cards here just to kill my guy. Be funny. I mean, he'll just like he'll probably like discard like early frost something. Block with. It's basically the same as Sagan's the game through life. Staying in and cast a compulsive research. Just gonna try to kill me as quickly as they can. Slowly losing counters on this thing too. That's also a thing to think about. I really need to draw another land. Not a lake. Not a lake. Search. Hard to land. They must have a lot of land. Another Shuko. This Narcomy was mean. This Narcomy means business. How good is Workshop is just holding back the Psychotog. Alright, would you land? I like tutoring for a Cursed Death Hold, honestly. There goes the last counter though. I kind of Cursed Death Hold here. It's gonna stop a lot of stuff. I just need to hopefully it resolves. My opponent just like kind of taps out here. It'll stop a lot of things, not the Psychotog. I need to figure out how to kill the Psychotog. I wish I actually kept Play my Sever. Might be tapping out again. They have a lot of lands to dump. Alright, this. They might early frost me here. That'd be really annoying. I'm gonna block this. Kind of like threatening. At this point, it's kind of threatening. Might not just do anything. There's no point in killing it, and there's no point in, like, not killing it. I guess it's, like, kind of free to kill it. You can just, like, exile 2 random cards. So it kind of messes up things like Treasure Cruise for him. I think an early frost, which means he might have Power Sink. Well, I can cast your Power Sink. Surprised he didn't early frost me. He has it in his hand. The Psychotog is a problem, though. Vendetta doesn't really solve that. I think I'm dead. I actually think I'm dead. Next turn, I need a land. I definitely need a land to cast his Ball of Gnomes. I might be dead, though. Let's see. 5. Yeah, I think I'm dead. 5 in the hand. 6, 7. Yeah, I'm dead. Fudge. I can kill a Psychotog. The 1-of. It's literally a 1-of in their deck, and I couldn't kill it. Wow. That sucks. Yeah, they just had the 1-of Psychotog, and I was pretty prepared for everything else, but sometimes Psychotog just kind of gets it here. Yeah, I don't know what to really say about that. I kind of just, like, couldn't deal with the Psychotog. Maybe that's a bad mistake on my part. Maybe I should have just, like, boarded in the Sever. But really, how do you play against the 1-of Psychotog? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.